Okay, one of the really important things with keyword research is actually to look a little bit beyond the actual metrics of I suppose, the competition for the keyword that you're looking at. And I'm going to give you a couple examples from a couple Australian keywords that on the surface they look pretty good, but one of them is actually better suited to actually build a site around. And really what we're looking at is identifying sites or styles of sites that are ranking for keywords that on the surface look pretty good, but you're actually probably not going to be able to match that style of site for yourself. And we get this quite often with what we tend to call like an e-commerce lean, which is where you would be looking to build like an Amazon affiliate site, for example, but you come up against a keyword, and you know that the sites might not have great metrics, there might be pretty low competition, but all the sites in the top 10 have a shopping cart on them. And really, if you're going to do like an Amazon affiliate site, then really it's going to be hard for you with an information only type site referring through to Amazon to actually outrank those sites that have shopping cart on them. So we get it a lot with e-commerce. But the other thing you want to look at is you know, in this instance here, I've got on page here, I'm looking at the keyword is third-party car insurance in Australia. And what you can actually notice is it's got a really like a significant lean towards actual company websites. So all of the results, with the exception of this one here, which is Compare the Market, which is a big comparison site they do in Australia. They do television adverts. They're sort of they're really, I'm actually surprised that their domain authority isn't higher than it is. But with the exception of that one result, the rest of the results are actual car insurance companies. And really it's hard to sort of mimic that with a standard sort of site. You compare that or contrast that, I suppose, with this one, which is looking at bad credit car loans, which is, you know, has reasonable search volume, high CPC with AdSense, would make a great lead gen site, would make a great AdSense earner, like really low competition. And comparatively, you've got what's really good and attractive when you look a little bit deeper at this particular keyword is the actual style of sites that's ranking for it is quite varied. And so what I've got here is, you know, you look at this site here is, I've got it opened up here, it's sort of like a broader finance and insurance site. You've got this one here, bad credit car loan. Sometimes it's a bit hard to tell. From what I can see, it doesn't look like it's an actual company. It just more or less looks like it's just a lead gen site. So it could well just be an SEO's site, or you know, some might be doing, you know, renting it out, and you know, or even just, you know, selling the leads to car loan companies. So it looks like a bit of an SEO site. We've got Aussie Car Loans is like an actual company. So most of these ones actual companies as well. Sometimes it's a bit hard to tell whether they're companies or whether they're actual. You know, SEO sites, you can usually tell if they've got like a finance license number. But then a really cool one, a good thing to see is down the bottom. So this is obviously, it's a finance term, so you would expect like finance companies and finance websites to rank. Whereas the one down the bottom is actually a general automotive. It's one of, I suppose, the premier automotive sites in Australia. So it's actually not specifically a finance site, yet it's still ranking. And it's probably ranking just based off the domain authority of the site. But overall, the keyword looks really good, but also the SERP looks really good for the typical sort of site that most people that are in the money site game would build. So like I said, there's a finance and insurance site up here, like a broad information site. There's a broad information site that goes beyond finance and insurance, and then there's a mix of actual company sites and pretty clear SEO sort of lead gen style sites. So it just pays to go a little bit deeper. You know, don't just stop at finding a keyword that has pretty good looking metrics and, you know, good search volume and looks pretty low competition. You want to also just go a little bit deeper and think about, okay, can the style of sites that I usually build, can I actually compete with the current top 10? I don't tend to go. I know some people recommend to go, you know, have a look at page 2 or page 3 and see if there's other sites. I don't tend to look at that because, you know, clearly when I, you know, if you looked at that, this third-party car insurance, you know, it's pretty clear there's a lean there. So I mean, I don't like going up against a scenario where 9 out of 10 sites in the top 10 aren't the style of sites that I build. Whereas this bad credit car loans, like I said, is far more diverse. So yeah, hopefully that helps you with, I suppose, not so much finding the right keywords to go for, but just avoiding ones where you might sort of be destined to be up against really stiff competition and potentially not really ever make it just because the style of your site isn't quite